What's going on, everybody? Dialerix TV back with another video. And in today's video, I will be giving my commentary on Charles Barkley recent interview that he just did on Dan Patrick. He says that Anthony Davis needs to take over, and pretty much it should be Anthony Davis' team now. So we about to roll into the video, and I'm gonna let y'all hear what Charles Barkley had to say, and then we're gonna come back.
Trying to figure out, and I want to be fair to the Lakers and wait till after Christmas before I have a good sense of what this team is going to play like. But it feels like, Russ is trying, he's trying too hard, it feels like. What do you make of the Lakers so far, first month of the season?
Well, I think it's interesting. They blame everything on Russ. They lost to Oklahoma City twice. They had a 25-point lead in both games. And I'm watching all these fools, idiots, and jackasses on TV the next day blame Russ. I'm like, yeah, they had a 25-point lead. Russ didn't do it all by himself. Now, Russ does have to take better care of the ball. But as I said from the beginning, with all those old geezers out there, LeBron starting to break down. Those little injuries, they didn't happen 5-6 years ago. That means he's getting older. His body's starting to break down. But it's still going to come down to Anthony Davis. I've said day one, if Anthony Davis is one of the 5 best players in the NBA, the Lakers are going to be tough to beat. If he's not one of the 5 best players, they're not going to be competitive because he's the only one that you can't match up with at this stage of his career. To me, he should be doing what Magic Johnson did. You go back and look at the great Laker teams. Kareem was the man forever, like LeBron. And when LeBron started getting older, Kareem started getting older, then it became Magic's team. It should start to be Anthony Davis' team.
Well, the difference between Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James and Magic Johnson and LeBron James is that Kareem and Magic could put their egos to the side for the sake of the team. LeBron James isn't going to do that. LeBron James wants to be the man. He has an ego. He's a diva. LeBron James is attention-driven person. Like, he always wants to be the center of attention. He's always getting himself involved in he loves trending, the things that's going on with the person, Rittenhouse, whoever that person is. I don't even know about the situation, but he's involving himself in that. Like, getting involved in politics. LeBron James always wants to be the center of attention. He always wants to be an attention seeker. So it's like he's also chasing numbers. He's trying to chase statistics. He's trying to chase Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. He's trying to break all these records and do all these things to try to seem like he's better than Jordan. And he's not going to do that. He's not going to hand the keys over to anybody. He's not going to do that. I would like for you guys to see how, controlled the media is and how they, put out certain information for a reason so they can control a narrative. If you notice, you haven't been hearing about this on all, other media news outlets. Whenever Charles Barkley says something to critique the Lakers, it's front page news. Everybody's talking about it, but they control different aspects of the media, so you can't see. So if you go onto Google or if you go onto Bing, whatever search engine you use, you'll notice that Charles Barkley may say, do this right now. Type in Charles Barkley. And you're not going to see, maybe if you put in Charles Barkley Lakers, I didn't do that, but if you type in Charles Barkley, but this would have been major headlines. I didn't even go check Bleacher Report, but you check these major news outlets, sports media outlets. Charles Barkley says this about the Lakers. He should be doing this. Anthony Davis should be the leader of the Lakers, the face of the franchise now. You're not going to see that because it's controlled. LeBron James, and he has his media puppets who are going to control the type of news that's being spread because they have this certain image. They want LeBron James to be better than Michael Jordan. It just seem as if that LeBron James is the GOAT. And they don't want to be painting LeBron James in a negative way, because then, it kind of, make it seem as though that he's not the GOAT. It sells this illusion that LeBron James, is greater than what he is. Charles Barkley also said in there, he said that Russell Westbrook can't get all of the blame, but he did also go to say that Russell Westbrook do turn the ball over. Russell Westbrook does make bad decisions, and in the clutch moments, down the stretch of the games, and that could be very detrimental to how the game goes. And you got to understand, it's all momentum, and Russell Westbrook never holds himself accountable. So he does deserve a lot of blame as well. But to me, that goes back to coaching. The Lakers need to gut the entire team. They need to gut the entire team. They need to start from scratch, or not even start from scratch. Start with your building blocks, which is Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. If that's who if those two pieces are the future of your franchise. So that's the direction I think that the Lakers should go in. I think that they should focus on building for the future, and it's time. He also mentioned in an interview how LeBron James is having these knick-knack injuries, and he's starting to become injury prone, and this didn't happen many years ago. And of course, see, the LeBron James fans, these are bandwagon fans. They're not loyal to no team. They're just going to hop from team to team, and they're going to just go to all these different, you see them in the comment section defending LeBron James, and, they're very toxic to the basketball community. And they coming in there saying, oh, well, Charles Barkley, he hates on LeBron because LeBron James is a better player than him. He's a better athlete. And LeBron James did this. And all these things has nothing to do with his opinion and his critique on the sport. He's giving constructive criticism. And the LeBron James fans, they have ESPN talking points already inside their head. They don't even watch the games. They don't watch these games. I'm telling you, I speak to LeBron James fans on a regular. They're casual fans. They don't watch the games. I'm watching these games. I'm watching them. I'm in the barbershop today having a conversation. Oh, the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. The Lakers, man, it's too early to tell. And Dan Patrick said that in an interview. He was like, well, I'm trying to give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt because we're going to wait till after Christmas. No, this is their identity. This is who they are. They can't even, they're struggling with subpar teams. And if you're not watching the games, you're not seeing that. You're not seeing how the Lakers are having a issue on defense. You're not seeing that the Lakers aren't moving the ball. You're not seeing that the Lakers have coach issues. They're not seeing that, which is another problem that the Lakers have, because LeBron James is a dark cloud that's hovering over the Lakers. So what's happening is all the blame, the media, the way the media is, what they'll do is they'll say, well, LeBron James, they'll try to, if Anthony Davis has a bad game, they're going to amplify it because, it gives the impression or the illusion that, they need LeBron James. So if Anthony Davis has a 23, 24-point game and the Lakers lose, and it may not be all his fault, then they're going to make it seem, oh, Anthony Davis, he's the problem, this and that, because they have to, use these talking points and sell these narratives so that it makes LeBron James, look greater than what he is. And then say, oh, they need LeBron. Oh, it's not LeBron James' fault. This man is, as I said, he's the coach, the player, cheerleader, doing all these things. And just going back to what I was saying about how teams are, how casual fans, they don't watch basketball. Like, the West, they say it's the West. Like, the Lakers could still make it in the West. I'm like, bro, do you understand the Nuggets are a formidable team now? They're not even a formidable team. They're a contender. Like, they're one of the top teams in the NBA. The Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks. I didn't even get into the premier teams like the Los Angeles Clippers and, the Golden State Warriors. That's five of the top teams already, and I'm not even talking about the Lakers. And a lot of these other teams, they look at the Lakers and they view them as blood. They smell blood. They want to attack and go at the Lakers. They don't have no fear of LeBron James anymore. They look at LeBron James as the old guy. His time has passed. And, the LeBron fans are going to have to get a reality check because they just think that LeBron James is, because they have these ESPN talking points, implanted in their mind. It's like they can't get it out. But all these different, things that they sold them, like, oh, LeBron James, the most durable athlete of all time. So in their mind, they think that LeBron James will never get injured because he's always spending he's spending millions of dollars on his body. I don't care how much millions you spend on your body. LeBron James has a lot of mileage on his body. A lot of mileage. So it's starting to take a toll. He's starting to get injured more. He's human. It's reality. I don't care how durable you are. Like, you're not going to be able to outlast Father Time. And, he's had the ball in his hands. It's going to be tough. They're going to have to carry LeBron James out, literally force him out the league because, he's going to try. He loves the spotlight. But the dark cloud hovers over Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. And, it's just time to rebuild. It's time to start over and use them as your building blocks. They are an old team, and you see it when you watch these games. Frank Vogel, I think he needs to go. They need a new coach. They need a new everything. Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis would be a dangerous tandem in a league if you use them as your two building blocks, your centerpiece of the franchise. As Charles Barkley mentioned, when Anthony Davis is playing at a top five, because he considered him as one of the top five players in the league, as long as he play at that level, they're going to be feared, and there's not that much you can do to really stop him. He's really unstoppable. And like I said, Anthony Davis is unguardable in my opinion. And Russell Westbrook, he just needs somebody to be able to hold him accountable and to be able to sit him down and say, Russ, you can't do that, or I'm going to sit you. You get what I'm saying? He can't have that much power over the team. And he don't have that now because LeBron James is there, somebody he could also trust. And Russell Westbrook plays with that fire, that passion, that love. And he's always, he gives that energy. His dunks are historic. Like, he has historic record. He breaks historic records and things like that. The world, everybody loves Russell Westbrook's, that character. And the same thing for Anthony Davis. He does get injured a lot, but you got to bring in other pieces that's going to help make their jobs easier, so people can know their roles. Have a player like, when the Lakers had Robert Horry who could hit those clutch shots. They need a role player like that could hit those shots. Get a third player that could come in that could make the job, made more easier to win these games. It's not no fantasy. This is not no video game. The Lakers, you have to factor in injuries, old age, chemistry. All these things matter, and a lot of the LeBron James fans don't understand that. So as they can have these games and they can struggle, but by the time you get to, let's say, even if you go past Christmas, LeBron James still has to come back and he has to get himself back acclimated within the offense, and that's going to be a process as well. But I've been saying that Anthony Davis needs to take over the franchise. The keys need to be handed over to the keys need to be handed over to Anthony Davis, and it's his time. This is his team. But as long as he feels as though, oh, this is LeBron's team, and the system, it's a LeBron system, and he's over there coaching, and like he's gonna always feel like he's handcuffed. As long as LeBron James around, there's always going to be trade rumors. Oh, this player needs to be traded and that person needs to be traded. Anthony Davis needs to be traded. All these ridiculous rumors that I'm saying, it's just like, bro, stop. The Lakers, they don't have any great on-ball defenders. They have no lockdown defenders. The Lakers defense is very weak, and teams understand that. Like, they understand that the Lakers have one of the worst defensive ratings in the NBA. So like I said, as teams scout and as these teams, study the Lakers, they realize that the Lakers aren't a team that they should be, that should be feared. They go at the Lakers. They know that the Lakers are slow. They know that they're old. So what teams know now in November, it's not going to change in December because no trades are really going to be made. So that's what I said. A lot of the teams now that you see, it's not going to change really.